Good morning, everyone. Today's gonna be a good show today. We got what do we got? We got Notebook LM with some new features coming to everybody. We got Meteor Showers, and we also got whoa, let me cue this up here. Let me cue this up before I do that. We also have a whole bunch of other news about Google and AI. So let's go ahead and do that. And get the music up if we can. All right, everybody, welcome back to an episode of Rant About Tech Live for this Tuesday, July 15th, July 15th. This whole summer's going by, everybody. This whole summer's going by. It is a gloomy day here in Philadelphia. I hope you're having better weather than I am right there where you're at, wherever you're at in the world. And thank you for joining me wherever you're at in the world today. We got a couple of things to be happy about here today. It's National Give Something Away Day here in the U.S. I'm not sure if there's anything equivalent to the rest of the world, but Give Something Away Day. Now, if you're giving something away today, just don't give away an eInk device, okay? Don't do that. Unless it's someone that is deserving of it. It's got to be somebody special, okay? Just don't give that to just anybody. We also got National Pioneer Day. I was talking to eInk in the Discord about the Wild West and the beginning of the Wild West and the pioneers and all of that. So it's National Pioneer Day. Learn about the pioneers, the people who paved the way, moving from the east to the west. Those are the brave ones. Those were the brave souls. So let's do some research on the pioneers. Big up to them. National Gummy Worm Day. I was about to say, who remembers gummy worms? They're still around. I mean, I don't partake in gummy worms like I used to. Chiefly because I'm a vegetarian, and those gummy worm days were my younger days when I wasn't a vegetarian, like when I was 10. But now that I'm a vegetarian, I can't partake in the gummy worms because the gelatin, they haven't switched over to the pectin. Like, come on, follow Starburst lead, follow Bamboo. I said bamboo. What are they called? The candies, are they bamboo? I think they might be bamboo candies. They like use all natural flavors, colors. They don't use high fructose corn syrup. Like, as far as candies go, you can't get any better than that. But yeah, so big up to the gummy worms today as well. Any birthdays in the chat? If we got birthdays and you guys are here, throw it in the comments or throw it in the chat if it's your birthday. I know it's not many, but throw it up there. We'll shout you out. And one more thing, I'm happy for you guys for being here. So thank you to the chat for being here today. We got Mr. Mike in the chat today. So thank you, Mr. Mike, for being here. You've missed a few, I think. We just started the daily one again, so maybe not. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and skip right into the tech news, shall we? All right, so the biggest thing on the radar for me today is news about Notebook LM getting vetted sources. I call them vetted sources. I mean, they're not really vetted sources per se. They are vetted. They're vetted. I mean, let's be honest, they're vetted. So try featured notebooks on selected topics in Notebook LM. So we talk a lot about Notebook LM here. And one of the features I like about Notebook LM is the fact that it makes podcasts on basically any source material you give it. And you can kind of passively get information that way. It's one of its biggest features for me. You can ask AI of anything, but are all AI creating podcasts? No. Okay. So this is one of those, and you can ask questions of the podcast. You can make them pause what they're talking about and be like, hey, that point you just covered, could you tell me more about that? And they'll be like, oh, sure. We got a listener with a question. Speaking of which, I'll have a section here later on in the show that if you have something to say or if you have a question about anything, there's going to be about 10 minutes, 15 minutes towards the end of the show where I'm going to switch over to Discord, and we're gonna be able to have like what I call call-ins. Okay, so you're gonna dip into Discord. If you don't know where the Discord link is in the description. We're gonna dip into the Discord. Oh, did I save it? I did save it. So we're gonna go into the Discord, and there's an event already started. I'm in the event right now, but I won't be taking any calls until the end of the show. So towards the end of the show is when we'll do that whole thing. I'll switch over to Discord entirely, and we'll run the rest of the live from Discord, and we'll have a back and forth. If anyone has anything to say, we'll talk more about that after we get done with the news. Okay, back to the news. All right, so Notebook LM gets these features. Let's talk about this for a minute. So what we have here, the features are called featured notebooks. It does things like what you would do with your normal sources, right? So these notebooks are going to be from reputable sources like magazines. I think we got a few of them so they're going to be from Longevity advice from Eric Poole, bestseller author of Super Agers. Expert analysis and predictions for the year 2025. That's coming from the World Ahead annual report by The Economist. So we got the economist on board with this, an advice notebook. So basically, Arthur C. Brooks, author of How to Build a Life, and a column, and he has columns in the Atlantic apparently. He's going to be curating notebooks as well. A science fan's guide to visiting Yellowstone National Park, complete with geological explanations about biodiversity insights. So as you can see here, there's going to be a lot of reputable sources, which is why I said vetted sources in the title there. There are going to be a lot of reputable sources and reputable people building notebooks for Notebook LM. And you will be able to query these notebooks like you do your own sources, right? So you will be able to download these notebooks into your Notebook LM, your personal Notebook LM, and then query them like you would do your own, or add that information to your own. So you can have your own notebook, add that information to your notebook, so a combined notebook, if you will, of your sources and the added sources from these vetted sources right here. So I thought that was very awesome. I thought that was cool. I mean, I really do think this is a good way to get and we're going to talk about getting a good foundation for anything that you're doing. Like, if you can, like, there's no need to really invent the wheel on things. You really want to build off of what other people have done, right? That's usually the way you want to do it. You don't want to spend time recreating a mechanism or anything that it's already been done and it's good enough for you to use and then kind of build on. So we're going to talk a little bit about that when we get into the 3D printing section of this live. But this is a good foundation, right? A template, if you will, for information and that you can kind of build and add on to. And I think eventually, as they add more of these notebooks, these what they call them, the featured notebooks, as they add more featured notebooks, that's going to be, I think that's what it's ultimately going to be, a good foundation and a good template for people to build their own notebooks off of, right? A good starting point. If you don't know how to get your own notebook started. So I think that's what this is eventually going to evolve into. And I think that's good. I think that's good. A good foundation for people to get started with a tool that's new to them is always good. And like I said, we'll talk more about that in the 3D print realm. All right. Another thing that I figured out on here is that you can publicly share notebooks on Notebook LM as well. I didn't know that was a feature that you could do on Notebook LM, but apparently you can share notebooks that you've created yourself with other people. Say like you're working with a team of people and you've curated a bunch of information on the topic you all are working on. You can share that that notebook of information with the rest of the team. So I thought that was very awesome. I didn't know that was a feature, but knowing it, I'm like, yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah, so let's go on to the next story we got here, which is Google acquires Windsurf. I was supposed to talk about this story yesterday because that's when it kind of hit, but I added it to my list. I don't know how it got missed off, but Windsurf CEO goes to Google, OpenAI's acquisition falls apart. So essentially, OpenAI was in talks with Windsurf. And if you don't know what Windsurf is a company that got good at creating AI coding tools, essentially. And they were bought out by Google after being in talks with OpenAI. So clearly, this is a company with some serious chops because if OpenAI, I mean, they're ruling, I mean, they have the mind share, I guess, of AI right now. So if they wanted them, they must have had some serious chops, and Google went after them, and they didn't acquire the whole company. Google's trying to escape any regulatory, any legalities they can after their bout with the government recently. So they had to fight like 2 lawsuits with the government in the last year. So they're not anxious to get into any other legal battles. This acquisition right here, the way they did it in piece is kind of like how they just grabbed the CEO. They probably grabbed a couple of other members of the team as well. But the CEO was the big grab for them from Windsurf. So they took the CEO, took a couple of other key members and kind of left the company intact. And then another company, who do we have here? Cognition, the company behind Devin, another coding agent. So the company Devin got the rest of what was left after Google snatched the CEO and some other prime talent. Again, a good way to escape a lot of regulatory issues that they might encounter, again, with the government. They don't want no more fights with the government. They don't want no more smoke for the foreseeable future, I would imagine. But this keeps them from that situation because they're just grabbing talent. They weren't trying to buy the company. Interesting. So I'm not sure how Cognition nabbed the rest of the talent, whether they nabbed the actual company itself. I mean, they weren't under any kind of scrutiny from the government or anybody else for doing anything malicious, so they wouldn't have had the spotlight on them if they did want to buy the rest of the company. So I'm not sure how they did that, but super interesting development nonetheless, and just shows that that Google is trying to beef up their AI coding chops here. We talked about recently how using AI for coding slowed a lot of the top developers down. And I guess that's relative on how you read into the story, because a lot of people read into it differently and saw that, it didn't account for a lot of the things that you would normally account for when you're actually coding and if you're using AI to code. So that story could go either way. It's sped up some people depending on how they view the data, and other people, it slowed them down depending on how they viewed the data. So it's still open for interpretation, whether it slows you down or speeds you up. But the fact is, AI coding is here to stay. And we have another story to talk about too, where one of the big coders in the world, the creator of, and used to be CEO of Twitter, or co-founder of Twitter, is using vibe coding to create a couple of apps that we're going to talk about later in the show. So anyway, super interesting. Shows that Google's trying to beef up their AI coding efforts. And I think that they're definitely made a big impact and splash with that acquisition there. All right, let's go on to the next story we have here, which is going to be Microsoft extending support for Windows 10. So Windows 10 support is going to be ending here pretty soon, everyone. So if you have a Windows 10 PC machine, it's going to be lights out for you pretty soon. As far as security updates, obviously you'll still be able to use the operating system, but security updates you won't be able to get after October 12th, or is it the 24th here? Let's take a look here. This is coming from Windows Central. Microsoft's extra year of free Windows 10 security updates feels like a last-minute snooze button, while groups like the Restart Project will want to help users. Now, the crux of this article is about Windows 10 ending support, or Microsoft ending support for Windows 10. Again, that's going to happen. Let's see if we can get the actual date. October 14th here. In approximately 3 months, October 14th is when they're supposed to end support for it. But that's been extended by a year, according to this article. Now, there's a lot of underlinings to this article that I didn't, or underpinnings to this article that I didn't really know about, which was there's a group of people who are super against what Microsoft's doing with Windows 10 and the way that they're choosing to end its support for it. So I wouldn't say abruptly, but I guess people feels like it should be supported for longer. And there's a lot of people who feel like it should be supported for longer. And what do we have here? The Restart Project. It stated here that I had to do a little bit of research on. I didn't know who this group was. But the Restart Project is just a group of people, an organization that wants to extend the life of, or try to find ways to extend the life of Windows 10. So they're doing workarounds like creating a version of Windows 10 using Linux. So there's lots of things they're doing to try to extend the life of Windows 10. So clearly people want to continue using this and they want to continue to get support for it. And it's going to last for another year. It doesn't seem to matter much to the people who are like up in arms about them ending it. They're like, okay, so what? Another year? Like, what is that going to do for us? Like, we need 10 years to prepare for this. But, and they cite like e-waste as being the prime reason they're upset about this Windows 10 support ending. They claim that a lot of Windows computers will just not be used and be thrown out because of the high minimum requirements for Windows 11. It makes it very difficult for these older machines to be able to comply with the minimum requirements and be able to even run Windows 11. So because of that, and there's a couple other caveats in here too. If it's an interesting read, if you guys want to check this out, it's an article, like I said, by in Windows Central, about this particular thing, and it's very interesting. They get into the weeds of why this particular group, the Restart Project, doesn't want this to happen. Super interesting. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out that story there. All right, but the thing is, support will be ending. Well, it's not going to be this year. Yep, yeah, it is. So they're going to extend it another year past that 2025 deadline. So we have more than just 3 months. So we're good to go on that, you guys. So you got another year. You got another year with Windows 10 if you need to figure out what you need to do with that system. All right, what else do we got here? The next story we got up here is going to... Actually, let's go to the chat real quick. We don't have much chat today, so I can get through a whole bunch of stories really quickly here. This might actually be an hour-long show today. I have missed the daily live shows. Me too, Aaron. I definitely missed the live shows. We're going to talk about your video that you did on the Viwoods Mini, which I think was a well-timed video for right now when it's getting a lot more support. Even like, it's crazy how that happens, right? Devices get support months after the launch and they get a surge or whatever. And it seems like, especially if the Discord is of any indication, that the Viwoods Mini is getting a lot of support right now. For the people who don't know, if you're watching the live right now, I thank you and I appreciate you. Could you hit the like button for me? That would be even greatly appreciated. And if you want to see more like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. There's a notification somewhere around too to get alerted for lives when they go. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. till 11, hour long. Well, it may go longer, but it's just, that's the plan. The point is that with the renewed interest in it, I guess you can call it, because it's not a new device, right? I think it's a well-timed video you put out, so kudos, and very well done too. It looks really well. I didn't get a chance to finish the whole video. I started it and I wanted, okay, I gotta do the live and get ready for the live. So, but after the live, I'm gonna check out the rest of it, and we'll probably talk more about this in the Discord as well. What do we got here? Claude can make and edit Canva designs. Now, this is a kind of a big thing. All right, here we go. Oh, where's the Canva? Oh, there we go. All right, here we go. Anthropic's Claude chatbot can now make and edit your Canva designs. Now, why do I think this is interesting? Because obviously everyone's using AI for all kinds of things, right? And Canva is a way that you can make a lot of things like templates for eInk devices, if you will. You can do this there, and to be able to have prompts to help you with making things like that. And the first time I even heard of this is when eInk brought this up, like a few months ago, during one of our sessions in Discord. We were talking, and she brought up the fact that it was interesting. She thought she could make PDF templates using chatbots, and I think we were talking about using chatbots for like making pictures, and she had the idea of using chatbots to make these PDF files. And I think we were talking also about how I thought that document processing was going to be done with chatbots, like in the future. Like, we won't need to know how to use a word processor to get an idea done. We'll just be able to use AI to kind of naturally talk to it and tell it what we want to be done. And also, the biggest part is for AI to be able to iterate on the things that it's done already, instead of coming up with something totally unique every time you start a prompt, to be able to say, I have this prompt that's a foundation for where we're going to go in the future. And I'll just iterate on this one response, right? But how it is now, it generates a whole new response almost every time you ask it the same question. Or if you have it create something, right, and you just say, all right, could you change this one thing on there? It may not change that one thing. It may change that one thing, but it'll also change a whole bunch of other stuff too. So it's like, if you could have AI do iterative designs or changes in a design, that would be cool. And I'm not sure where we're going with the Canva here, but I've tried a couple of these tools, and they don't work quite like that just yet. But this could be different. This could be different. This pretty much has a subscription fee involved with it as well. So there's also that you have to have a particular tier of Claude to do this. But assuming that this does what it's designed to do, which is to make iterative changes on designs, I think this could be really good. And I think it could be a very, very useful tool. All right, next thing we got here is Jack Dorsey launches a vitamin D tracker app. This kind of goes into the vibe coding we were talking about earlier, but let's go ahead and talk about it. All right, so we have here Jack Dorsey drops his second new app in a week. So essentially, like I mentioned, Jack Dorsey is the co-founder of Twitter. So definitely a very capable coder and developer programmer in his own right? But he's been dabbling and using AI tools lately for what they call vibe coding. And I'm like, what is vibe coding? Like, I know this is a key word right now, but why does it have to be a vibe? Coding is not a vibe. I hate to tell you. Like, I've done many hours long sessions of coding, and it's never been a vibe. Okay, it's never been that. But anyway, I guess it's a vibe now. You vibe when you're coding. This app is called Sunday, and essentially what it does is it calculates how much sun you're getting. So, and from it, by you giving it what you're wearing, like it takes into account the clothes you're wearing. It takes into account the UV rays in your location, cloud cover for your location. So it takes in a lot of data, your location data and weather data, and calculates all of that stuff and gives you how much vitamin D it thinks you're getting, and also how long you can stay out in the sun shirtless. I like my shirtless one-wheel rides, okay? How long you can stay out in the sun shirtless before you get sunburned. Now, I like to get a tan, okay? I know. It may seem counterintuitive, but no, I like to get tans. I want everything to be the same color, so I'll go out shirtless to get tans. This would be wonderful for that. And plus, like, one of the reasons I moved to Philadelphia was to get more vitamin D. That was like one of the reasons I moved to Philadelphia from upstate New York. I got to tell you right now, quick fact about upstate New York. Two quick facts about upstate New York. I don't know if you guys remember the Twilight series, the vampires. I probably said this multiple times on the live, but here we go again. The Twilight series, when they were first starting the first movie, and this is a vampire zombie, not zombie, a vampire werewolf series, okay, of movies, if you don't know. When they were researching locations to film the Twilight series, one of the locations they visited, and one of the top locations on their list was Syracuse, New York. Now, why does that matter when we're talking about vitamin D? It matters because Syracuse, New York gets the 5th least. So out of a list of the cities that get the least amount of sun in the United States, Syracuse is 5th on that list. So, vitamin D is at a premium in Syracuse, New York. I might even say all of upstate New York. But someone corrected me lately, and when I said upstate New York, they were like, it's really central New York. Whatever, man. Whatever. Central New York. But anyway, yeah, so vitamin D is one of the reasons I moved to Philadelphia, because I realized in visiting Philadelphia all the times that I had been visiting that the weather was always better. And then I put the Philadelphia weather app on my phone so I could just check the Philadelphia weather whenever I'm in Syracuse and it's raining like 90% of the time. It's cloudy or snowing. Precipitation, there we go. You get precipitation like 90% of the time in Syracuse. But I would check the weather and I would realize it was like 15 degrees warmer on average on a daily in Philadelphia. Listen, when I realized that, I'm like, deuces, okay? Your boy need vitamin D. Matter of fact, they prescribe vitamin D for every hospital visit I've ever had in Syracuse. Like I just was prescribed vitamin D, and I never really thought about why. It's because you don't get any sun. They know that, so they're prescribing everyone vitamin D. I mean, you do what you got to do, right? But anyway, I guess that's all to say that this app could do me well. You know, I would use this app, vibe coded or not. I'd use it. Jay, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Let's get to the chat real quick. Yeah, listen, you couldn't pay a lot of people to live in Syracuse, Jay. Another quick fact. Oh, here we go. Another quick fact about Syracuse. Syracuse is experiencing a serious boom right now. In economics, right? So they're bringing in there's a lot of subsidies being given to companies who want to come in and do chip manufacturing. So I think I want to say biotech, but it's probably not biotech. It's microtech. Anyway, there's a chip manufacturer, a huge chip manufacturer coming into Syracuse. And they're trying to lure people into Syracuse, lure professors to teach, because they're investing a lot. They're trying to get kids young into science because of this factory that's coming. They want engineers to come from the region, the area. So they're putting a lot of money into education and putting a lot of money into facilities, trying to get Syracuse built up. And along with that, they're trying to pay scientists and engineers to come work there, right? Because of the chip factory. I was talking to a guy, and it's so weird. I met a guy here in Philadelphia who got offered a job, no BS, got offered a job as an engineer in Syracuse and turned it down. He was like, there was no way. He was like, I did the research on the area. He was like, there's no way they could get me to. And he's like, they were offering $50,000 sign-on bonuses, and already you're getting paid a ton of money anyway, right? That's a year's salary for a lot of people. Yeah. You aren't the only one that couldn't get to move to Syracuse, Jay. Need a lab test for D. Don't overdo it. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, don't overdo the vitamin D, but definitely get your fair share of vitamin D. Get out in that sun if you have it in your area. If you're not getting sun, definitely get your vitamin D the way you can. It affects your mood. And as you can tell, I like a bubbly mood. Nice and bubbly. Someone described me as happy-go-lucky one day. I almost punched them in the face. Like, what you call me? Don't ever. Bubbly, though, I'll take. Here we go. Next story. Oh, yeah, we're on Jack Dorsey. I got sidetracked with vitamin D. I don't want to hear it, Mike. But anyway, this app, he created a couple apps, I guess, in a very short period of time using AI coding apps. And one of the apps, like I said, was the Sunday app, where it tracks vitamin D and sunshine intake, apparently. And another app is an app that I've been thinking about for a very long time and wondering if anyone was going to make it. Clearly, someone did make it. And I think it's very cool. So it's an app that basically allows you to connect with people that are close by you. So the thing I was thinking for all my life is, I don't know why I had this. This is the vision I had in my head. I don't know why, but this is it. I just envisioned me driving down the street, right? Or riding in a car alongside another car, not knowing who the other person was in that car, but could contact that person. Why that was a thing for me? That's the thing I see in my head for this particular technology. But anyway, that's how this basically works. So it's going to use near field communication like Bluetooth and NFC to communicate with people around you. And that's essentially what that second app does. And it's called, what do we got here? BitChat. So the name of that app is called BitChat. I haven't checked to see if these apps are out actually in the apps. Actually, BitChat is available. Sunday, I'm not sure if it's available yet, though. I'll have to check out that. But BitApp lets you communicate with people that are around you in your area without needing a phone number or connecting with them on socials or anything like that. You can kind of like your phone will be able to show you who is around you using that particular technology and then allowing you to connect with that person. Now, obviously, I think you need security measures, right? You want checks and balances. You want the person who's being contacted to be able to accept that contact or be able to say, hey, yes, I do want people in my immediate area to be able to contact me or to be able to ping me or whatever the case may be. And there's lots of security issues with this app too, and they outlined those security issues in this article here, but on Gizmodo. But my thing is, I think it's a brilliant idea for someone to make. You would have to get all these security holes patched, right? And you would have to consider how people are going to use it and how that communication is going to happen. Because I don't think, from reading this article, it doesn't seem like Dorsey thought that all the way through, or if he did, he didn't care. But through any event, as long as you're thinking about those things, I think this could be a very good way to go. BM says, IME transmissions for all cell phone, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, tracking my neighbors for years. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you could do that now, but this is letting you do it without Wi-Fi. So this is just near field communications, Bluetooth, NFC. There's another technology that they were using to transmit data. I know Apple has their Air Drop protocol, but I don't think that's I don't think that's something that's open source that other people can use. But NFC and Bluetooth are definitely two technologies that could definitely take advantage of this, if not both, right, at the same time, just to give you a better signal or give you better connectivity options. All right, let's go ahead and move on with this. The next thing we got, or the last thing, or actually, you know what? We didn't talk about. We're gonna go to this meteor shower that's supposed to happen. Let's go ahead and talk about that before we get to the last tech story. All right, so we got here from IFL Science, one of my favorite sites, by the way. If you guys don't check out IFL Science, hit up their socials. Like, they have some good, quick science hits that are awesome, funny sometimes, and nicely factual. So anyway, we have a meteor shower happening according to IFL Science here, and I've read this in other sources too, but we're going to take their account of this whole thing. We have a comet called 109P/Swift, as in Taylor Swift, tack Tuttle, as in Tuttlehead. That doesn't play well. Whatever. It's going to be 26 kilometers wide, and if you're in the U.S., that's 16 miles, and has a 133-year orbit. So this is a pretty spectacular thing. So this won't get seen for another 133 years. Yeah, we won't be here. We won't be here. Best viewed pre-dawn hours in the Northern Hemisphere, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, from July 17 through August 23rd, peaking between August 12th and August 13th, if you're interested in that kind of thing, which I think is awesome. Jay says, yeah, AirDrop is not open source. Yeah, I didn't think it was. I don't know if iMessage is open source, because iMessage is just a protocol too, even though it's an app as well. I read, I don't know why it's in my head that it is open source. It may be their only proprietary software that's open source, or that they've open sourced. I could be wrong about that too. All right, moving on. Let's go on to the next story. Up next and last, oh no, we got two more. Japan sets new internet speed record. And I thought this was interesting just because anytime I hear internet speed record, I'm like, their internet's always faster in other countries. In the US, we have the most trash internet out of the countries that grade the internet, that is, because it could be worse. We could live in a country that has no internet whatsoever. And we could be doing what people are going to have to do in our last story with the Amazon satellites. No one wants that, okay? No one wants that. So basically, we got fiber optics here. Let's hit this story up here. They're using a new kind of fiber optics to make this record possible, and it transmitted over 125,000 gigabits a second over 1,120 miles. And if you're everywhere else in the world, that is 1,802 kilometers. Not independently verified, though. So who knows? Who knows? They could be fudging, but we don't know. They have no reason to fudge, though. This is the second time they've hit the record or taken the record. So I take their word as the gospel right now. But it shattered their previous record of 50,250 gigabits a second in 2024. So yeah, fast internet outside the U. I thought this really, when I first saw this, the only reason I was really interested in it at first is I thought, okay, this is telling us how crappy U.S. internet is. But this is not even obviously speeds that Japan's getting in their like mainstream internet. So this is just theoretical stuff that they're using the best possible equipment to do. It's a thing. It's a thing. Let's move on to the last thing we got here, which is Amazon launching commercial satellite. All right, so we have Amazon launching commercial grade satellites for broadband internet, kind of like Starlink, the SpaceX. Is it SpaceX? It's Starlink. Starlink is probably not SpaceX. It's, oh my goodness. Through any event, Starlink, Elon Musk's company for satellites, they're kind of doing the same thing. Amazon is clearly getting into that game. They're going to be offering 3 tiers of service when this goes up, and it's going to be speeds up to 1 gigabits a second. I just thought this was interesting that Amazon's launching their own satellites for broadband. Like, why? Like, I guess Bezos is like, we got the money. We why not? We clearly got the money, so we're gonna do it. And there you go. All right, you guys, that is going to be the tech news for the day. We're gonna go on to some other stuff here before we get out of here. But let's get to the chat real quick. And chat. Okay, we've got to all the chat, which is great. It's a great day when I get to all the chat. AirDrop is not open source. I think we got to that already as well. I wonder if I'm going to check the other one out and see if that's actually open source too. All right, everyone. What I'm going to do now is there's a couple of things I want to do with the show. So I'm going to do a couple segments. The first segment I want to do is just, get the tech news out there in a quicker manner. That took an hour. I don't want the tech news to take an hour. I would like that to take 20 minutes, 30 at tops. And then we can get on to some eInk news. Then we can get on to a demo that I would like to get going on a daily basis. So tech news, eInk news, demo, and then we'll do like a call-in segment. We'll keep working at it. We'll keep iterating until it gets good. BM says it's competition for Starlink. Everyone is losing customers. Ooh. Yeah, they got into the weeds into that article. It's a very interesting article if you guys want to check that out. Payments.com. I'll actually put this in the show notes. Can I? Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, so I'll put that particular story in the show notes. It is very interesting. They got into the weeds a little bit about growth, but what I thought was interesting is that they talked a lot about how that growth is affecting traditional broadband services. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. All right. So eInk conversations. More Penstar news. So essentially, let's get to that background we got here. So essentially, what we have, I was, like I said the other time, I was contacted by some Penstar reps, and they gave me some information on the eNote 2 and gave me a little bit of a heads up, which we talked about in a previous live. I got a little bit more information, which I thought was interesting. So in that conversation, I asked about the A4 size eNote that we talked about and that I previewed after CES. Aaron says, I'm calling in tomorrow. What? I'm buying this eNote 2. Yeah, I'm super looking forward to the eNote 2. I'm super looking forward to the eNote 2. But the thing is that I asked them during that email, I was like, hey, what's going on with the A4 sized eNote because they previewed it at CES, and I didn't hear any more about it after that. So I'm like, okay, I was super interested in that, super interested to see where that was going. I thought they might update it, which is why I asked. I didn't get an update about that. Oh, snap, Jennifer, how's it going? Hello from Portugal. Portugal, how's the weather in Portugal? It's gloomy here in Philadelphia. It's probably going to rain for a week here, so I'm not anticipating any one-wheel outside time. I've been playing basketball lately, too. I got back into basketball after years of not playing, and I'm telling you, it killed me. I mean, both calves pulled muscles. like I'm riding one wheel almost on a daily. You would think my calf muscles can handle some basketball. No. You got to work your way back into basketball after you've been away for a while, okay? Don't go out there and overdo it like I did. I came in the house, I was almost dying. I don't know if I told this story, but walking from the basketball court that day, like 4 people asked me, I mean, I exaggerate, but a few people asked me if I needed water. I was dying. I'm like, no, I'm good, thank you. Somebody already offered. I took them up on it. I just drank it, thank you. Very sunny, 28 degrees Celsius. Oh, snap. Okay, no doubt. Well, enjoy the weather. I'm looking forward to it. That's 82. Cool. I thought 30 was 80, so I knew 28 was going to be at least close to it. You know what I mean? I knew you had some good weather going on somewhere. I can't do a total conversion in my mind, but I can do a quasi conversion. You know what I mean? I can do a quasi. But yeah, so I got some interesting news about in response to my A4 question. No news about the A4, but they did give me some tidbits or confirm some tidbits about a new device that I did not see at CES that they're going to be coming out with, that they're going to ship me way ahead of time for me to work with them and give them some feedback to try to dial this thing in. I'm super excited, you guys. Super excited. So I don't know what this new thing is. I probably won't be able to talk about it. I probably said too much already, so let me stop. But in case I haven't said too much, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Anyway, so that's the Supernote or the Penstar eNote news. There was an eNote update done to the vanilla eNote as well, the one. Now, I was so excited about that. I almost like just dove into that instead of prepping for the live show. But then I remembered, I have a live show to prep for, so I couldn't do that. But I want to mention that there is an update. So if you are a pen or eNote owner, they released an update not too long ago, and it's changed quite a few things that I'm excited about that we're going to go over on tomorrow's show. So if you're interested in what these updates are and you want to see kind of what my thoughts on them, check out tomorrow's show. It should be very interesting, among the other things that we do too. Jennifer says, thanks. I'm very new to the eInk game. I'm very interested to hear your opinion. Definitely. If you are new to the eInk game and you want some real time opinions as well, think about joining the Discord, Jennifer. Link is in the description of this particular video. There's lots of people there that are very helpful, very nice, and they are very knowledgeable about eInk and have multiple eInk devices. One of the devices on the rise in the Discord right now, the stock is growing with this one in the Discord, is the Viwoods Mini, the VM as we like to call it. But yeah, so it should be interesting. Should be interesting. Well, I mean, I'm glad you guys are interested in eNote. Because I'm interested in it, right? It's a little known player in the eNote in the eInk game that I'm gonna say this. I would say it's not as polished as the other newcomer to the game that's done a really good job, which is Viwoods. But they're doing something unique, and there's something to be said for uniqueness. Doing something differently, and I love it when people try to do something different, especially if it's different and it works. Because there's multiple ways that I can't say skin a cat. I got multiple cats. I don't want any of them skinned. Okay, none. We gotta come up with a different saying. Well, maybe one of them, Peanut. Maybe Peanut, but that would hurt Amy, so I don't want Peanut skinned either. So, but he oh boy, that one. Anyway, But moving on, super exciting stuff coming, and stay tuned for the eNote news, and I'll fill you in with as much information as I can, you all. But I'm going to just say right now, I probably won't be able to say much beyond what I've already said about this mystery Penstar device. All right. Oh, Aaron's new video. So Aaron, and speaking of, we were just speaking about the Viwoods being the other newcomer that's also done a really good job, and I will say it's a more polished product than the eNote, but polish isn't everything. Like you know what I mean? You could put a nice coat of paint on something. You know what I mean? What does that mean? It's just something. It's just trash with a nice coat of paint. Shiny trash. I've seen shiny trash. I've had to make trash shiny before. In the military, they have you do that. Make my trash look pretty. Okay, how do I do that? How do you shine trash? It's a skill. It's a skill. Someone called me. Did I miss a Penstar? Oh, here you go. We know you're a Penstar hater, Mr. Mike. We know that already. All right, so moving on here. Aaron's new video. Aaron has a new video out, and it's a review on the Viwoods AI Paper Mini Notes app. So again, like I was just talking about, this is one of those machines that's getting a lot of what happened? Oh, it's getting a lot of traction right now with a lot of like the power users. Like I consider the people who are in the Discord, like a lot of them are power users who like go all in like I do with these eInk devices. And for this to be something everyone's like really like gung-ho about, I was really surprised. And I was talking to Aaron about how the timing of this video is really good when it seems to be surging in value right now. I think a lot of people is going to dig this video and get something out of it, especially if you want to get a device of this size, right? There are not very many eInk devices that do really good note taking with a writing surface with this kind of screen on it. So yeah, unique position, very nicely timed video, and very nicely done as well. We were talking about the camera you use for this top-down view. I didn't even know you were on the Canon trail, my brother. Canon? Okay, no doubt. No doubt. All right. Anyway, moving on. Check that out if you guys are interested in the Viwoods Mini. He does a deep dive into the Notes app. He does a really good job of explaining things. Aaron just does a good job of explaining things, period. So go check him out at 2530 Media at YouTube. And yeah, I'll actually link this in the description there as well for you guys here. But definitely go check that out if you want some more information on that. Let's put this in the links here. Bam. All right. So last thing we got on the eInk tip is going to be Supernote updates their Supernote's updates the devices separately. So basically, that was a question. Like, I'm not sure what Supernote does and how they update their devices, but I am super interested in how they go about doing that, if anybody knows. And if you're seeing this in the rewatch, and you do know, leave it in the comments down there. And I'm sure, Ed, if you're seeing this, Ed, if you know, throw it in the comments so I'll know. And the rest of everyone else would know. It seemed like initially that they were different things to me. The updates for the Supernote Manta, their 10-inch device, and the Supernote Nomad, which is there. And we'll just show this right here. There we go. The Supernote Nomad here, which is their 7.8-inch device, and then we have the Manta here, which is their 10.3-inch device. And initially, what I thought was happening is that they were updating these devices with the same software, right? Just it would work. It was designed to work on these two different screen sizes, but the software is essentially the same, right? But then I thought, well, maybe it's different, because I noticed that one time I tried to use some pen functionality on the Nomad. So let me see if I can bring that up. I'm loving this I like it. Okay. We talked about this pen right here a while back. I just started using it again and realizing how much I liked it. Yeah. It's like harder metal, but lighter and closer to the, yeah, it's nice. I like it. Let's see if we can get these up here. See if I can get, oh, here we go. Oh, these are, is it the last test? No, it's not. Let me just put a page back here. All right, here we go. All right, so essentially when I would do things like, just write on it. And actually, I can't do this with this pencil. I have to have the Lamy. All right, because I need a button to kind of reproduce this. So I've dated shiny. I've dated shiny trash. Mike. Lipstick on a pig. Okay, yeah, that could be shiny trash for sure. That could be considered shiny trash. When my drill sergeant said, "Make my trash shiny," that's what I should have gave him. A pig with lipstick. So hello world. Wow, why did that happen? Did I hit? What? Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna write that on both here. Now, there's a function, a little known functionality of the Supernote that I like to call out whenever I can, and it's double tapping a button. If you have a stylus with a button on it, like I have here with the ceramic nib Lamy. Oh, this isn't. I'm sorry. Whoa, calm down. This isn't a ceramic nib Lamy. This is a crystal Lamy. I've stopped using ceramic when I got good at these. I'm like, okay, we're good to go. There's no need to switch back. Okay. With the crystal Lamy here, so there's a button on this particular pen. Can I get this right? Perfect. Okay. I find that if you line, I'm just for those who have Lamys out there. For those who have Lamys, let me just say something real quick before we get on this. I do tangents, my bad. If you align, you see that the Lamy inscription here, which the new Lamys I'm going to start selling from now on, they're going to be engraved as well with the logo for Ratta Tech right here. It's going to be so nice, way better than what Lamy was doing. But anyway, for those who have the Lamy who want to line it up really nicely, if you see the Lamy engraving on the back here, and you line the cap up with that Lamy engraving, like so, the button, you will always know where the button is because the button is kind of hard to see. And if you're just picking up the pen, you don't want to be like, the easiest way to do that now, if you do that, now this little clip is as long as that is in the crux of your hand right here, the button is going to align with your finger. I don't know if that does anyone any good, but I love using that little method to find the button. But anyway, if it's not like that, I have a problem. My life is thrown off all the way. It's weird, but yeah. So the reason why I thought that the Supernote updates were different is because I tried this particular method one day. So if you double tap the Lamy pen button here, or any stylus with a button, the pen changes into a stroke erase. So you can double tap it and there we go. And it turns into a stroke erase. So you can stroke erase it. Now, if you hold that button, it turns into the select. If you hold the button, it's a selection tool. Whoa. That was weird. Okay. If you hold the button, it's a selection tube. If you tool, if you double tap, it becomes the stroke erase. Now, a caveat with that is if you move the pen too far away from the device, because this is Wacom and EMR, it moves. If you move the pen out of the electromagnetic field that's created by the tablet, it'll lose that setting. But with the Nomad, well, that's what would happen on the Manta. On the Nomad, it would retain that setting. And so for a little while, I would use that feature on the Manta, and they would react differently on the Nomad. And that was a problem I had. So I thought, okay, so clearly the updates are different. And they were both on the same, they were both updated to the most current software at that time. So I thought, because you can do that, I'm just going to do that again here. Double tap. Yeah, it stroke erases. And then if I just don't do anything and go to this device, you see here how it just writes. It doesn't know that I double tapped. If I come back over to the Nomad, it knows that it's on double tap mode. You see, so I mean, I'm going to do that with the Manta here too. Let's write. So if I go to the Manta and try that thing and then go over to the Nomad and see what happens, you may, it used to be a difference. Let's see here. So I'm going to double tap. All right, it's in stroke mode right now, to where it's doing a stroke erase. I take it away from it and go back. It knows that it knows because the setting is there. So I'm moving it out of the electromagnetic field. I move it back, and it knows because it's saved in the settings. I move it over to the Nomad. It doesn't know. So this is clearly saved into the settings. So what used to happen is, if you would move it away from the device that you did it on, or you initiated it on, it wouldn't remember that you switched to the stroke erase. So when you came back to the device, it would go back to the line because it would forget. Now, that, like I said, that used to be for the Manta, where it would forget and the Nomad would remember. After a certain point, they updated devices to where both of them started remembering what state the pen was in, whether it's in double tap state or writing, or a stroke erase state or writing state. So that was the thing right there for a little while. So that made me think that there were two different operating systems happening, because one could do something the other one couldn't. And then they got both of them on the same page. Now it seems like they both kind of do the same thing. Now, I mentioned this for this reason right here. I did all of that to say this. I don't know if you guys remember the battery problem that the Manta was having a little while back, but the Manta was dropping below 20%. Once it did drop below 20%, it would give you an alert, hey, the battery dropped below 20%. And after that point, legit, every 60 seconds, it would drop 1%. So after the 20% mark, you had 20 minutes with that device before it shut down, because it would lose 1% a minute. Now, the Nomad didn't act that way until last night. So I'm not sure if anyone can confirm this, but once my Nomad got under 20%, they fixed it on the Manta. Now the Manta's fine. It doesn't drop that fast after 20%. But now the Nomad is losing power super fast after 20%. So I don't know. That prompted me to ask the question: are the updates the same? Are they updating the Manta with the same operating system that the Nomad has, and vice versa? Or are they two unique operating systems that they're running on the two devices? Very similar, but unique. If anyone knows, let me know. I really want to know. That's really concerning to me. All right, everybody. Let's go to the last segment we got here of the live, which is going to be demonstration. We're going to talk about 3D printer settings for a little bit, if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Let's do it. All right, so 3D printing is something that I'm getting into a lot lately, because I want to make stuff. And if you make stuff, a 3D printer is like the oven in like Minecraft. Is that an oven? Oh boy, do you even bake stuff to make stuff in Minecraft? Did I get that all wrong? I probably did. But regardless, you get what I'm saying. It's a tool that you should have, or if you can afford to do one, you should definitely try to get one, because they will change the way you think about creating things, for sure. Especially seeing that you can create almost anything within reason with these machines, and they all do a really good job. Even the entry level, I have a super entry level filament 3D printer here, the Bamboo A1 Mini, and it does a fabulous job. So even the entry level machines do a really good job. So I would definitely take a look at them if you are creative to any degree. Um, but the thing I wanted to talk about here is a couple of the settings that I come across that it took me a long time to come to these conclusions. And if this will save anybody any time, I figured, you may as well try to save somebody some time if and when you can. All right, let's do it, you guys. All right, I'm going to go over to the actual 3D printer for this. I'm going to go back and forth. We'll go back and forth. That's what we're going to do. This is going to be a test. I'm not sure how this is going to go. All right, but we're going to go to the 3D printer. We're going to come back here, and we'll kind of be back and forth talking about the settings and so forth. Oh, you know what I should do? All right, forgive me. I didn't put myself in a window for the settings, so let me do that now. Let me just add me to this thing right here. Actually, maybe I don't need to add. Yeah, I could add me. I could definitely add me. I probably should add a little window. Oh. All right, here we go. Oh, that's not me. That's not me at all. 1 second here, chat. One momento. Oh, I chose the wrong one again. Listen, OBS on the fly is not fun. There we go. Oh, bam, there we go. Holy cow. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. All right, we're gonna put that right there. Okay. All right, so I got me right there. Do I got me on the iPhone? I don't. Oh boy. Chat, what have I been doing with my life? We don't even it doesn't even matter if you have me on the iPhone or not because I won't even be at the desk. So we don't need to be on the iPhone. All right, so that's the printer. That's the printer right there. Can we hear me okay? Oh. My bad. This is the printer. Can we hear me okay? Is the sound coming from the iPhone distracting? It probably is. It's not as good as my mic over there. What do we think? Let me know in the chat. This is definitely going to be a test live right here. We're gonna figure some things out with this live, you guys. I hope you're in for an adventure. You have pretty handwriting. Oh no, I don't. Please don't. I've been told, like, somebody commented on one of my videos. It was like, for somebody who's convinced me they write way more than the average person, your handwriting is trash. I'm like, oh, thank you. I write like a doctor. I still need to send you my EMR for this ceramic nib. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Anytime, Aaron. Anytime. That's actually a really good idea. It does me some good. Okay, cool. And I wasn't talking to you, Google. Why is Google in the background? All right, let's go ahead and get over to. Actually, let's go ahead and talk about these settings real quick, since we got this up and running real quick here. All right, here we go. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about with 3D settings is the first thing you're going to want to do, and something that I didn't realize until I probably made like 100 prints at this, over 100 prints at this point. But something I didn't realize till recently was that the easiest thing to do is start with your presets. And so we're going to talk about some of those presets real quick. Just a real quick primer on these presets. So the first thing is is that you're going to see when you pull up, like, this is what is this? The Bamboo. This is Bamboo Studio. Okay. So this is Bamboo Studio we're using. Software for like the Bamboo A1 Mini and their line of 3D printers. But you're going to see similarities in other slicers as well. And so what this program does is it slices the object into layers that you can see how it's going to print it, right? Layer by layer. So one of the first settings you're going to get is the nozzle size. And that's what we're looking at up here. Okay, why isn't it? Oh, it's not. Oh, for some reason it's okay, chat. For some reason it's not like real timing my Oh yeah, it is. You just can't see it. Okay. Up here where my arrow is nozzle, right? So for some reason it's not showing the drop down menu. So I'm gonna go over what those options are. That's crazy. Why would it not do that? Maybe I'll do window. Maybe I have it show window. Well, next time we'll next time we'll do window. Actually, you know what? Let's do that now because if you can't see the presets, then none of this kind of makes sense. So let's go ahead and do this. See, you guys, I'm learning on the fly. We're gonna have this down for the other demos though, so it'll be worth the time. Okay, so we're gonna change this thing here to be full screen. Oh, cancel. Perfect. Okay, I think that did it. I think this way you can see. Yeah. Okay. This way you can see a drop down. All right. Here we go. All right. So you guys. So basically, what I would say if you're getting into 3D printing and you're starting and you're trying to find out how the settings work, how to use your settings, what the best settings is for what you're trying to print. The first thing I would say is use the presets. So the first set of presets won't dictate your print much, but they will dictate what your equipment is, right? So the first one is going to be your nozzle size. So right now I'm using a 0.4 nozzle. I have a 0.2 nozzle that doesn't work well with TPU. So I wouldn't even see. Oh, echo. Oh, how's it? My bad, you guys. How's it right now? Is the echo still there? Let me know, and let me know in the chat if the echo is still there. Like we're gonna get this down to a point to where it's just good. We're not there yet. I'm still experimenting with these settings. So good. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, now let's get back into it. My bad, you guys. Apologize. All right, so the first setting you want to get into, like I said, if you're getting into 3D print, just getting into 3D printing, and you want to know what the settings are, this is like a quick primer on that. Okay, so the first setting I would say is you got to know your nozzle size, right? So, and if you haven't changed your nozzle, then this will just stay what it's at. If like you've never bought a nozzle, this will be on whatever nozzle size you bought that came with the machine, so you won't ever have to change that. But if you are experimenting with different nozzle sizes like I am, then you're going to want to make sure that you pick the nozzle size that's actually on your machine. And right now, we'll talk about those in a second here. But you're going to want to pick the nozzle size. The next thing you're going to want to pick is the plate that you have. Okay, so this is the next setting right here. And right now, that's going to be defaultly set to the plate that came with your device. So if you're not someone who experiments in different plates on your device, then you never have to worry about changing this. Okay, so this should stay at the default setting. Now, the things that you're going to want to change, right? These are things that don't come with the machine that you're going to have to specify once you get it, is the fact of what kind of material you're using, which is going to be under the filament section right here. So once you go down to under filament, you got presets here for the kind that you have. Now, you will see here where it says system presets down here, and these are all the system presets, and these are all the presets that I've created myself here. I think I downloaded this file right here, but these are ones that I've actually created myself. But you won't have those if you're just getting the machine and you're looking at all the presets. You're just going to see these presets right here. And you're going to want to pick the material that you're using, right? If you're using PETG, if you're using TPU, if you're using PLA, if you're using ABS, if you're using like whatever material you're using, you're going to want to specify that material. And the reason why you're going to want to specify that material is because that is how the printer knows what to heat the nozzle at, what temperature to heat the plate at, how fast how fast the material needs to be cooled by the fans, what speeds are too fast or too slow for that material, what nozzle size is too big or too small for that material. So the software will know those things and adjust settings accordingly depending on what material you buy. Now, I like to go in and just make custom settings for whatever material I buy. Case in point, let's go over to the actual machine here. Let me change this. Okay, so right here we'll see the actual. This is the actual ring for or rim for the. Oh, I can't upside down. Can we turn this upside down? It doesn't matter. It's gonna stay right side up. Okay, so we can't really see this. I'm gonna try to keep this taut as I turn it. Oops, wrong way. All right. You can see on the actual roll of material here, you have what these specifications are. It tells you the diameter, it tells you the weight, it tells you the color, it tells you the print temperature, it tells you the plate temperature. So the actual material itself is going to give you some parameters on how you should treat the actual material. Let's put that back right here. So, oh, whoa, wrong one. Oh, that's still the wrong one. Bam. Okay. So, so essentially, you're going to get some specifications on the actual material itself that you can make a custom setting with. And the way that you go about doing that is we're in the filament section here, and you can hit that little box right here, and this will give you an area where you can input those particular settings or input those particular parameters from the actual filament you bought. You can put those right into here. Now, not all of these will apply to the filament that you got. Typically, filament only comes with the nozzle temperature and the plate temperature, and some other specs about the weight and things like that. But the big ones are the temperature, right? And you can go in here and tweak a whole bunch of other things. But like I said, I wouldn't even worry about that starting out. Just stick with the presets. But like I said, if you want to input the set or the parameters from your material in, this is how you would go ahead and do that. And you will find those things there, like the softening temperature, recommended nozzle temperatures are right here. And then whatever plate you have, I have the textured PIE plate, and tells you what the plate temperatures would be, and I can change those. Like I said, I wouldn't worry about changing them. Just stick with the presets. Go into the filament, pick the filament that you have from the list that they give you, and then stick with those parameters, and unless they don't work for you, and then you might want to go with something else. Mr. Mike says, I'm into this 3D print stuff. Thanks, man. I know at least one or two people is going to be into it. So I felt like this will be a good way for me to get some experience with explaining things over live, and doing it in a more dynamic way with going to the machine and going back and forth and having it just more than one view. And eventually it'll get good. Eventually we'll have banners and stuff up. I got plans for the live. I want to be able to talk about the things that I'm doing, because I do so much every day with this stuff too. I'm doing eInk still, obviously, but I'm doing so much other stuff too. I want to be able to talk about those things as well. All right, so the next thing we have here, after you pick your filament preset, you're going to go to your print presets. And this is where the real magic happens. Like, if you never really touch any of those other presets, I mean, you want to touch your material preset because you want to pick the right material you're using. But after that, these printing presets is where it's really at. So hitting this thing, I have a couple of my custom presets here, but under this system presets area right here is where all of the presets that come with the machine are. And what I would do if I were you, someone starting out with 3D printing, I would go through, find something you want to print, right? And then make a copy of that using each one of the presets, every one of them. Like, it'll take you a little bit of time, right? But it'll tell you so much about your print. it'll and from that it'll teach you so much about the program and the settings as well. Because if you have a physical thing you can look at and say, yeah, this is the thing that I printed with these settings. This is how those settings affected this thing that I'm looking at. It means so much more than just looking at these settings and reading up on them and trying to research them. Because I did that. But once I realized to go through and print them and then look at them and judge how they come out and how these parameters affected that particular model, that's invaluable. Morning, DeRock. How's it going? Thanks for joining. I didn't even realize Palm crept in here. What's going on, Palm? So those are the things that I would say. That's the first thing I would say about if you're new getting into 3D printing. Use your presets. Don't try to dig into the settings right away. Like that, the settings will be there for you. Get a grounding for how the machine acts and how it works. Make you some models and some copies using those presets, and that'll give you way more insight into what's going on versus just researching and reading. Yeah. So that's what I ended up having to do. So that's what I did essentially right here. So essentially I was trying to find the best mixture of printing that I could. So this is the Manta spine prints right here. So this is the frame part of it. And I made a bunch of prints and I thought, how can I make the print stronger? Because worrying about the hooks breaking off and snapping was a problem for me. I got past that, so I figured out how to make this a lot stronger than what it was, so I never have that problem anymore. But it was a process getting to that point, and I actually had to go through many iterations of the process. I printed one and said, okay, how strong is it? And then strength was the only parameter I was judging it off of. Then I thought, okay, what preset gives me the strongest frame? So I made all of the frames with all the presets and says, okay, now which one is the strongest? And then I took that preset and tweaked it to say, okay, now which one looked the best? And then I said, okay, well, this print right here looks the best. This one was the strongest. Let me go to those presets that I use for this one that look so good and see how they are different from the presets for the one that made the stronger one. And maybe I can take the presets that made this one strong and add those to the presets that made the other one look good. And so it was a mixing and matching kind of game that I had to play with the 3D prints. But it all started from knowing what the presets did and knowing what the presets looked like. And then saying, okay, that's the preset I'm going to pick to start from. That's the template I'm going to use. And then I'll tweak those presets settings from here. Does that make sense? I kind of rambled on there, but that's, if you take nothing away from that, is that use your presets. Use the presets initially until you get a feel for what looks good and what works best for you. Now, nextly, I would say after the presets, I have a list here. After presets, I would say slow down your printer. So let's talk about that for a second. If I can pick that, I think I can. Can I? Oh, I can. All right, here we go. All right, so the next thing I would say is to slow down your printer. And you can find how fast your printer is going to print a line or how fast the arm is moving, the acceleration. All of that you can change under the speed settings for your printer. Now, what I would say is if you're going to change your speed settings for the printer, what I did was I took half of what the print settings were defaultly. So as we can see here, for the initial layer, it says 50. I cut it down to 25. This was 105. I cut it down to 50. I just basically took 50% of whatever the speeds were and used that. Because I guarantee 9 times out of 10, once you find out what preset works for you, or if you're someone who just wants to dig into the settings right off the bat, once you find out what settings work for you, slowing your printer down is going to make a better quality print no matter what settings you go with, no matter what presets you go with or custom settings. I just found that to be true. for 90% of the prints that I use. And the only time slowing the print down doesn't enhance my print is when I'm trying to make a print or a number of things that are going to fit together. For some reason, and I think it's because it throws the cooling off. For some reason, slowing prints down like things don't fit together like they should once you do that. So if you're not like, this is going to fit like a glove or a puzzle piece, or you're trying to make a hinge where a prong needs to go through it or something like that. If you need parts to fit together like a puzzle, then, really slowing it down sometimes will throw off the measurements that were set for the particular print. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, slowing the print down, if you're not getting good print results, slow your printer down. Use those settings you were defaultly going to use. Go to the speeds and just slow it down. It's an easy way to get better quality prints right there. All right, now beyond slowing them down, oh wow, I got some points here. So usually slowing down, I got here, usually decreases artifacting. So if you get artifacting on the surface of your prints, that could be a couple of things, but slowing it down and trying that first, is going to improve not just the artifacting, it's going to improve every other area as well. So, but that could be a sign that your infill is just pushing through the surface too. So that's a thing. Let's go to the chat real quick. There's a good summary on 3D printing of 3D print settings and 3D print troubleshooting. I'll post it on Discord. Problem with presets is that print dimensions and orientation can change how things print. Yes, but why? Explain to me why you wouldn't want to use presets because of orientation or dimensions. It might be very slow print, meaning the hot nozzle is close to the print, allowing it to deform. There's a print speed sweet spot. Yes, there is a print speed sweet spot for sure. But I feel that slowing it down, just take that 50% cut in speed, has never hurt a print. It's only helped a print. The only way it hurt me is if piecing things together. I find that if you're doing that, then sometimes you may have an issue. But yeah, I would try that. And thanks for the link in the Discord there, The Rock. I appreciate that. All the help we can get with this 3D printing is going to be helpful. All right. So it makes stronger prints. Well, no, that's another thing. Oh yeah, the last thing I put for 3D print slowing it down is throwing off your measurements. So there's like diminishing returns. So just like The Rock said, there is a sweet spot for speed in 3D printings. But slowing it down is a good place to start, in my opinion. Try that. I mean, and if you cut it by 50% or 25%, just know what you're doing, and you can always just go back to the default settings, right? So there's no harm in trying something new. All right, so try a different line width to increase your print quality. That's something that I would say is going to help you no matter what. Decreasing that line width. So let's take a look at that real quick over here. So essentially, what I have right here is we're gonna go back to defaults, line quality here. All right, we're going back to line quality here for the 3D prints. Now, whoops. Now, for layer height, this is what I'm talking. What is that? The width? Yeah, this layer height. So changing the layer height is one of the things that improves your print quality too. And this is a simple fix. There is a sweet spot here as well, like The Rock and I just talked about. With speed, there's a sweet spot. With the layer height, there's a sweet spot. So all of these have a point of diminished returns, right? There's a point that you're going to get at to where decreasing the layer height isn't going to do you any more good, right? It's just probably going to do you some harm. But there is a level you can bring it down towards. Now, one of the good things I found, I'm gonna try to go to this right now. One of the more impressive things I found, if you guys want to learn about layer height and how it affects your print quality, this is a really good one I found here. And I'll throw this. Where is it at? I'll throw this in the links for the show. Okay, so I want to bring this up here too. So I'm gonna actually bring it up, the web page here. Wow, can I? Oh, there we go. All right, so. Oh, wrong one. Okay, let me try to copy that one more time here. I think this is probably the best. I didn't even know this was. No, this is not. Okay. Okay, all right. For some reason, a YouTube channel thing came up, but let's get back to this real quick. All right, so one of the best articles I've seen on this is this article right here. And I'll link this article in the show notes as well. Let me go ahead and do that right now. This is a really good article right here on Line With. It's probably the single most or single best thing that improves print quality, in my opinion. And I'll throw that, I have that in the show notes now. But this article right here talks a lot about print quality and how it affects your prints. And this right here was a really telling graph right here. This graph right here talks about starting at the far end here at 0.4 nozzle, and we're talking about the strength of the print here, and how 0.4 the strength was down here. At 0.3 the strength rose. At 0.2 the strength rose even more. At 0.15 the strength rose to its highest point, and then it started to come down at 0.1 and 0.05. So even with the line width, there's a point of diminished returns, and 0.15 line height seems to be the sweet spot for strength for whatever this guy was doing. Now, for me, 0.1 seemed to be the sweet spot for strength. So it depends on what material you're using. There's lots of factors that go into this, but you would need to kind of try this out for yourself. But the fact of the matter is that reducing the line height not only makes better quality prints, but strengthens the print. So it makes stronger prints. And he goes into all the explanations of why that is, and as far as the printing process goes. But I thought that was very interesting, and a very interesting read there. So let's go back to here. Let's go back to Discord here. All right, so going back to the actual settings. Now, the way you would do that, like I said, you would go to your quality section of your printing software, Slasher software, and you would change the layer height. Right now, the layer height is 0.08. Again, for me, I find that 0.01 makes the strongest prints for me. But if I'm just trying to get really fine, nice curves, really nice quality surface, then I'll drop this as low as I can get it, because that's going to give you the best looking surface of your 3D prints. So if you're looking for that, that's one of the things right there. So check your presets. Make sure I would actually go through all your presets, make a print with all of them, just to see what you like, what looks good for you, what makes sense for the print you're trying to make, and then kind of tweak from there. And then to get better quality, you might want to lower your speeds. Again, there's a point of diminished returns, right? So you want to think about that. Decreasing line width. Another great way to increase not only print quality, but increase print strength. If you're trying to make parts that are durable, screws, hooks, things of that nature. What else we got here? Supports. Last thing I want to talk about is supports. Now, this is something I absolutely needed to learn how to do for the actual hooks for the manta spine here. And without supports, there would be no these hooks would not have been able to come out like they did. They would have been drooping and sagging, a lot of them. So how you do supports may make a difference in your prints. If you're someone who's making prints with bridges, like the areas where there's nothing underneath it, but you need the arc with nothing underneath it, any kind of bridge, any kind of hook, any kind of space where there's nothing underneath the print to actually print from, and it has to like print in thin air. You're gonna want to use supports for that. Supports take up more material, right? So you're gonna have to consider that. It's gonna take up more material, and supports take up more time as well. So those are two things you're gonna want to have to take into account. Again, most of these things we're talking about here are going to take up more time, if nothing else. So you have to be prepared for more time spent on these prints getting made. But if you are trying to get quality prints, it's just going to take time. It's just going to take time. All right, and that is the 3D printing section. That is the 3D printing section. All right, what do we got here in the chat? Jay said, "Oh my God, show is still going." It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, but it is. Start with preset, but for example, a tall, skinny print needs slower printing and likely a brim. Yep. Just like I was just talking about the supports. The brim is another form of support. Brim is just like a base on the bottom of your print that helps stabilizes tall prints, or any print for that matter. You can put a brim on anything, but tall prints definitely need brims. I learned that the hard way when I was printing poles. It might be very slow prints. All right, we already got through that. Yeah, 90% of the time, slow down is better unless it's too slow. Yeah, absolutely, The Rock. I would agree with that. It's just that you can get too slow with your prints. But just try. That's one of the things you want to tweak to get better quality prints. It's surefire way almost to get better quality prints. Layer height is how detailed the print surface is. Lower layer height increases detail. But greatly increases print time. For example, simple geometric prints, no surface detail, can take larger heights. Absolutely. Pattern is what print pattern is what or infill pattern and surface pattern is what I'm going to go into on another live as well. I'm experimenting with that now, but different patterns give you different results. Like with the clear TPU, I'm realizing there are certain patterns that you can use for the surface that make the TPU more transparent than other patterns. There are some patterns that are just stronger than other patterns. Some patterns are used just to give you a smoother surface. So there's diversity in the patterns, and they all have different purposes. And that's kind of what I'm diving into now. Supports, I try to turn the object upside down. Yeah. Thank you, great 3D. No problem. Yeah, I just want to pass along some of the things that I've been kind of learning with 3D print. I want to try to chop this out and make it its own separate video too. See how that works out on YouTube. I just noticed Remarkable Paper Pro sluggish writing in the show notes. Always here for a remarkable hate. Well, we're going to talk about it. All right. So we're done with the 3D print settings portion of the show. Next, what we got here? Oh, we already talked about the remarkable. We did that in the eInk section. We already talked about. I forgot about that. We didn't bash remarkable too much. It was just when you write, like when you just to show. I didn't show a demo of it, but when you write on here, like when I'm writing on the Remarkable Paper Pro, the problem with me is that I want to write. And then maybe I want to delete something. You see them? Did you see that? So let's do it again. Let's get down here. Let's get granular, okay? Shall we? All right. So hello world, and say I messed up. Oh, I want to write a better D. It doesn't show me. That hiccup is it's little, right? It's little. If you're trying to erase something and it doesn't show up till after like it gets done refreshing, why do I need a refresh? It doesn't have to look good. Just let me finish writing what I'm writing. Refresh when I'm done, or refresh when I'm done. Like that is so, oh, well, that bothers me so much. It's bothering me so much. I'm spitting all over the place. That's how mad I am. Yeah, I don't even like that. I've been tripped up so much. Jesus Christ, I'm so mad. I've been tripped up so much by that. Oh, thanks, Sheen. Let's get the air horns going for Sheen. I appreciate you. And Sheen says, love the 3D print chat. Absolutely. Thanks. I'll try. Whoops. Let's get that in there. Yeah, thanks. I try. Yeah, I'm trying to get some of the other knowledge that I'm accumulating with this production stuff out. Because I know a lot of us in the Discord are makers as well. So we're gonna try to get that going. And it was put on my radar that I should start a buy me coffee and a Patreon. Now I have a Patreon. I haven't publicized it, but I'm gonna start publicizing the Patreon starting next week because I want to get it organized and stuff. It doesn't look good right now. It's just, I don't even know what it is yet. But the buy me coffee thing, I'm gonna try to get that set up because I've heard of that, never thought about it though. So thank you again, eInk, and you're the awesomest. All right, so yeah, I don't like that. It's tripped me up more than once, especially when I'm in here feverishly writing and erasing and it's like, oh, I gotta wait. Now you guys know how my memory is. Now I've forgotten what I even wanted to write. It's like, you're not doing me any favors, Remarkable. You're not doing yourself any favors. I'm trying to cape for Remarkable as much as I can because I think they do a good job. They don't make it easy. Trying to fend off Jay from all the attacks. Remarkable doesn't make it easy to defend myself. They give me nothing to defend myself against Jay's onslaught. But whatever. It's whatever. We got to call it out when we see it, right? All right. Now, this is the part of the show that if you have anything to say on anything that I've covered, or if you have a question you want to ask, and we're going to do this on live, hop into the Discord, link in the description, go into the event. We're switching over to the event right now. Matter of fact, let's switch over. It might be a delay for the switch, but we're switching. Oh, there it is. Okay. We've officially made the switch. Can I make my window smaller? Let me see if I can. Man, we gotta make the chat smaller. We gotta make everything smaller. All right, you know what? We're not gonna. Now it's gonna be hard to have this chat in, and have the other chat too. So maybe I'll take this chat out. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'm taking that chat out. All right. Are we even hearing me, chat? Are we hearing me right here? I hope I'm still hearable. This is all new. We haven't done this since the first time we tried this, and I'm not sure, I don't remember how well I think it worked well the last time we tried this, but it's been a minute, so I don't remember exactly how it goes. But if we keep doing it and keep making mistakes, eventually we'll get it right. When I say we, I mean I. I would definitely make mistakes. Okay, so we got a few people in the event right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull down the chat here because there is a chat. There we go. Bang. So here is the chat for this thing right here. Now I can see chats. Now, anyone that has anything to say, you guys want to ask a question, or you have anything to say about today's live, let me know. I'll be able to see who wants to talk. There's a hand thing. It makes me so mad that they have a hand gesture. This should be a call-in feature. They should rebrand this. I think I'm gonna speak to someone about rebranding. All right, so I'm gonna close my thing here. I'm gonna open the Discord chat.
Okay. Can anyone hear me now? Yeah, the delay is a little concerning too. I think we're I think we're synced on Discord. I'm just worried about if there is a delay when people are hearing us on YouTube. Okay. Hey, BM, I see that you joined the live. Hi. Were you there all the time? And hey, Vlad, you've also joined. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to talk to all you guys. Good morning, Mike, and good morning, Jay. Just got to throw all that in there because it's great to see you guys. Okay. I'm going to ask in chat too, your YouTube chat anyway. And we lost Aaron in the voice chat here on Discord. Okay. Okay. I can still hear you really good here. We'll figure it out. Gotta learn as you go. There we go. I've got you. Am I back? Awesome. Okay, so we were going to talk about specifically what's going on in the chat and kind of what I was, or in the live, kind of what I was thinking about Remarkable. Remarkable is a fabulous device for specific use cases. Um, but there are a couple of things that just kind of almost like Viwoods-esque. For example, when you're writing just now, you're really trying to get to that flow state where everything is coming out. And that is such a major miss when it does something like that. Why? I do have a question though. Mine tends to do that if I haven't rebooted it immediately or recently, I would say. So when was the last time you rebooted, restarted your Remarkable? Okay, awesome. No problem. I have not. I'm really interested in it. I definitely want to talk to Direct more about this, as well as with changing layer settings. I recently acquired an A1 in addition to my X1C, and the A1 is amazing. You have an A1 Mini, correct? So they're absolutely amazing machines. There are so many things to change. What I would like to do is do a little bit more tweaking into my print profiles so that I can have some presets so that when I'm loading prints from somewhere else, which is what I do most commonly, I do a lot of loading presets and prints from Bamboo. I would super like to be able to take those and then apply the settings that I know work best for, like right now it's super humid here.
Hmm.
So I need a different preset for that than I would if it was December here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That's a
I
that's a
want to
very good point.
really, yeah, it's critical, I think, as you're growing and you're getting more and more technical. That's an area I definitely want to explore because it works great. When you tweak those things and get those settings dialed in, it it's amazing. My first I have a new setting for the first layer that has drastically improved its quality. So I know I'm excited to see what else is out there and get some more tweaks. So
Hmm.
Duroc, you gotta hit us up.
Yeah, yeah. I'm super interested in talking to The Rock about that. Because anytime you can get some inside information on, because it takes so on 3D printing, because it takes so long, right, to get these prints done. And someone who's put the time in, you definitely want to take advantage of that. There's no need to recreate the wheel, especially if someone's done the work already. You know.
Well, if you're particularly if you're in a specific ecosphere, sorry about the ringing. I am at the office. So, you will hear ringing in the background, and somebody might jump in where I have to jump off, but I will give you guys a heads up.
No problem.
Um, it is very important when you're in a specific ecosystem to take advantage of your settings that work there. Um, my brother, for example, uses a lot of Prusa, and he is in a
Yeah.
completely different slicer.
Hmm.
And though I have found through using my Anycubic, which I no longer have, that their slicer was very, very similar and based on a lot of what Bamboo Slicer does and a lot of what Orca Slicer does.
Okay.
So it's great to connect with the community of the ecosystem that you're in so that you can have a base to really talk about the specific things, but also reach out to other communities and see how they're tweaking the slicer to see what's going on. Because a
Yes.
lot of slicers are based on what our slicer is based on.
And that's something I'm realizing as well. Is that a lot of them are based on that, and you're right. I want to use the pressure slicer too because I just recently heard that they had an update with some line height things that I wanted to try out. So different features on different slicers too, and they're doing something different over there. But I you almost got to try them all. You know what I mean?
Well, and honestly, I'm beginning to understand that there are different slicers for different types of products. If you need something that is more on an engineering or technical side of things to where you're producing a part for something,
Hmm.
Bamboo Slicer may not be the best for that because it is not as varied
Hmm.
as Prusa Slicer.
Yeah. Hmm.
You can get a lot more out of Prusa Slicer for very specifics and very exact settings.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
what has been your experience lately as you've been CADing your specific designs? What are you using for your design software right now?
I was using the free CAD because it's free, but that
Fair.
yeah, I just couldn't wrap my head. It was too complicated to kind of dig into and unearth the things that I needed to do. So then
Mm-hmm.
I switched over to Blender. So yeah,
Interesting.
so after I started working with Blender, things started opening up a little more for me. Um, and you know what's weird too? For some reason, the AI screen capturing, and because I learn a lot of the things and get a lot of the at least my additional or my initial heading from AI. So I'll have AI assess the screen for me, and be like, okay, in this program, where do I find this particular tool? And it will give me like, it's best way of showing me how to get to a particular tool that I need. So it's really,
Interesting.
yeah, AI works really good with Blender in that way. So it's been really fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's been really fun. So I've learned a lot that way as well. Try it. It's especially if you just need to, if you want to correlate a tool that you've been using into something that Blender or any other tool has. I find
Mhm.
that AI screen captures and getting AI input from that is really good. It's really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you are looking at your designs, are you saying, and by the way, what AI are you using for this?
I use Gemini.
Okay,
I swap back and forth between Gemini and OpenAI's a model. So but
gotcha.
mostly Gemini. Yeah.
It would be great to see kind of how your process goes, just a quick step by step on a short, to see like how that works in practicality for bringing those two pieces together. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you can't, like, I can't CAD. My husband can CAD, and he has tried repeatedly to teach me to CAD, but
Mm-hmm.
it's really something that's missing for me, but something that I want to learn. And if AI can help me to learn to
Oh
CAD, I
yes.
don't care in Blender, that whatever, that is huge. That is monumental because it brings that skill to those of us who can't.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing, right? I mean, I don't know how to. Well, I didn't know how to use Blender before, but now I'm getting pretty proficient with it. Um, yeah, that's worth making a video about for sure. And I would imagine it would work for CAD as well, She. So I mean, it's not limited to Blender. My only experiences with it is with Blender because it just works so good. I just kind of stayed with it. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so when you're using that specifically, what are you designing?
So typically when I'm doing that, I'm looking for tools that can create specific shapes. 'Cause that's kind of where
Okay.
I again and I'm becoming template based in my in my later years, but it's like I want to
No, no, that is efficient. That is
well listen,
efficient. Don't let
well
anybody else tell you anything
I hear
otherwise.
you, and it is efficient. I'm telling you, I can't waste time. But so
Yes.
yeah, so it's a good starting point to use shapes. So I'm always trying to figure out how to implement shapes into designs because that's where I start,
Hmm.
and then I kind of
Hmm.
I manipulate default shapes that you were as it were. And
Gotcha.
a big thing is measuring. That's something
Yes.
that yeah, that's something that I had
Okay.
to once I learned that, that's when things really started to open up for me.
See, now that is critical. So my next question was actually about scale.
Okay.
So you led me right into it. Thank you so much. How do you use, and are you using AI to help you determine or set that scale? So can you ask AI to produce this shape with these parameters and then put that into Blender? Or do you just say, hey, AI, I need a circle, shove it into Blender? How do I do that?
So essentially, what I do is it doesn't create anything for me. I'm sure there are programs that do that. What I use it to do is basically say, okay, you look, I give it the screen to look at and say, okay, with this screen, where are the options for scale? Where are the options for size? How do I navigate this menu to get to?
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. So that's how I use it. I mean, like I said, there may be like programs that create the actual models, but I use it
there
just to
are.
find tools. Yeah, I use it to find tools because I don't know where the tools are.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I used it to find out where how to change the scale of my particular um, canvas from inches to millimeters. And it walked
Gotcha.
yeah, and it walked me through the menus and told me what they did, and then it gave me some background on some other stuff. So it does a really good
Oh
job.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
if you use it in that way, it does a really good job of showing you
Mm-hmm.
what's what. And you can even do this live
Okay.
now. Like I used to use screenshots before. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Google just launched, and I'm sure the other AI developers have this kind of tool as well. But Google launched a Chrome thing to where it's just it's always up the AI, so it knows what's on your screen. So I hit it in my taskbar, and it asks me, it tells me exactly what it's seeing on my screen and says, what do you want to know about this? And so, and so I just say, hey,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Now I have that brings another question. So you're letting this AI look at your screen.
Hmm.
What exactly is it looking at? And is it looking behind you, like to see how many tabs you have open? What tabs do you have open? Is it creeping into your Chrome settings to
It
see where you
probably
have been?
is.
I mean,
You
Google
know how
knows
this
a lot of
goes.
that
Yeah.
stuff already,
Hmm.
but I mean, like, does it see like I have, like, of course I can't use it at work, right? Because I wouldn't want it to creep into the
No,
patient data that
exactly.
I have
Yep.
displayed on my screen,
Hmm.
kind of a thing. So when you are using it, are you leaving everything open in the background and you're like, okay, let's just do this? Or
Yeah,
are
yeah. You know
you,
what? To be honest with you, I never considered that until you just said that. So I've never considered the security implications of this. But yeah, you're probably right.
see, this is
You're
when I wish
probably right.
this is when I wish I was a coder because then I could go back in, I could look at that code just to be safe and be like, oh yeah, okay, they're digging around here and
Right,
I
right,
probably should use that.
right.
Crap,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna have to look that up too.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, it's worth taking a look into, especially if you're trying to learn a new program. And I would be hard pressed to if it didn't work very well for CAD as well. So definitely give it a try.
I know that I've seen many, many videos from, oh my gosh, my mind just blanked. I've talked about them before on some lives and pointed to them in the Discord. They have a company that you don't even have to, like, if you have an online shop and you're selling 3D
Hmm.
prints, you can say, hey, I want this printed, and they will link to your Etsy shop, and when you get an order they will fulfill it for you.
Oh yeah.
And my ADHD just kind of wiped that name right out of my head, so I'm sorry I can't tell you who, but they have done videos on actual um programs now, at least three, that through basic instructions, just like you would use with Chat GPT, their text instructions, you can say, I want this to look like this, be this
Hmm.
big,
Hmm.
have this many,
Yeah.
whatever, design your own little frog or whatever. And it will CAD it and produce the file that then you can take wherever you want and edit it in whatever CAD program you're using. You can tell it to develop, well, I can't say whatever. You have to ask it to produce the specific type of
Mm.
CAD profile for
File.
the
Yeah.
program
Yeah.
that you're using,
That's
right?
interesting. That's
Because
interesting.
there's lots of different, there's STLs, there's all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
fabulous.
I'm gonna have to check that out. And another thing, we'll have to do it another time. But I want to pick your brain about step versus STL files. So
Yes,
keep that on the brain. We'll talk about that the next time we have a chance to chat. I'm gonna call
for
Aaron in
sure.
here to give Aaron a chance to say his piece, and
All right.
we'll,
Love
we'll,
it. Thanks so
we'll
much, guys.
absolutely we'll catch up. She Inc.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Peace. All right, we're gonna call up Aaron here and see what Aaron can do here. I'm not sure how to handle. Oh, there we go. I got it. Bam. There we go. All right, Aaron, and can we? There we go. All right, so Aaron, if you accept, there we go. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah. How's it going, man? Good to hear you.
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good. Just doing my part to keep these airplanes in the air. That's about it.
I feel you. Listen, and you doing God's work, my brother.
You say.
So, what you got on your mind today?
I just wanted to talk about the AI paper platform, I guess itself.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
importantly,
definitely.
I'm using
Yeah. Give me
I'm
some
using the
insights on
mini.
that.
Well, I actually I know Ed started off with his outlook on the AI paper platform, and I actually agree with a lot of things that he's saying with how they can improve the software or the user experience.
Hmm.
I do know when I first got it, opened it up, I tried to just replicate my normal workflow that I use on my Boox tablets, and I was running into some friction with that until I just said, you know what, I'm going to use the tools that they have available and see how that experience goes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
since I've done that, I've been really enjoying the AI Paper Mini. Um, and I think it's the size. I think it's the 8.2-inch screen size that really is a game changer for me because it's
Mm,
small enough for me to travel with. Just got off a plane this morning from being out of town for work, and it's small enough, it's portable enough to get what I need to get done. And they have a lot of tools that go great with my workflow at work.
yeah.
As far as especially the meeting notes. I actually like that. I know there's some friction that there's not a true filing system in the meetings app,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, I don't need it because as soon as I write those notes, and if I choose to use the AI meeting minutes, which I like a lot, I'm emailing that thing off the device anyway, and I'm sending it off to my team, and
Yeah.
that's where I'm doing all that storage of that data anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And just the overall writing experience on it. I know it's Carter 1000, but the screen still is great. The writing surface is actually better to me than the 10.3,
Oh,
and
wow.
and it's not that it's it's not light years better. They both have good writing experiences. It's just I do like the feel of that screen a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
And outside of that, I get done what I need to get done, and not having all the distraction of some of the tools that books may give you, it honestly lets me just sit back and write and enjoy writing again. So
Yeah, yeah, there is something to be said for having a really efficient UI, will call it, because you don't get, like you said, distracted by things that could take you away from your initial point of pulling that device out. You know what I mean? Which happens with the
yeah,
phones all the time.
exactly. It gives it for my workflow and what I'm using it for outside of work. Like I've done some journaling on it. I've even wrote a couple of chapters of my project on it, and it's just I'm writing. I'm not worried about trying to link stuff. I'm not worried about trying to use this tool. I'm not
Yeah.
digging through menus. I'm just
Yep.
writing.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
that aspect of it I enjoy. Um, and if I had to daily this, I probably could get away with daily in this. I
Wow.
do
Okay.
I do wish that they made some improvements though. Especially the fact that like Ed speaks about the filing structure. I should be able to file things in a certain way how I want to do it with the
Mm-hmm.
meeting notes and my paper notes. Um, the PDF annotations doesn't bother me that much because I'm able to import them either in paper or do my annotations I need to in the PDF viewer.
Right.
What do they call it? They call it learning.
Yeah.
So I
Mm-hmm.
can get away with that. Like I can understand Ed's workflow. I'm pretty sure he needs more tools than I do with that aspect. But if I could link PDFs and link pages together so I don't have to jump in and out of apps, I mean that would honestly that's all I think the device needs.
Wow. Okay. That's
Especially with the calendar app, how it's set up. It's really set up, I think, for a professional who needs to plot out their week, their month, being able to add notes
I love
directly
that
to it.
calendar app.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. So
Well, now one more thing before we get out of here. What do you think about the quality of the device, the premiumness, I guess we can call it, of the device? How do you feel about that compared to, say? I mean, I'm gonna say the Remarkable because I just like the Remarkable's design and feel. I mean, even though it's an older device, the Remarkable 2 that is. Um, or even matter of fact, we can compare it to the 10.3 because they got similar design language. How would you judge the premiumness of the device compared to those devices?
so I think actually when comparing it to the 10.3, they're almost kind of the same because I actually look at the 10.3 and the AI paper is almost like they're competing with the Remarkable 2 as
Yeah,
far as the
that's
design.
exactly how I see it. Exactly how I see it.
So it has a good premium feel. The AI paper mini it's thin as well. It looks professional. I can walk into my meetings and it's not a distraction. If I have it out of case, it's just silver aluminum back. The white front.
Hmm.
It feels premium. And even if I compare it to the Nomad, I do think the Nomad is a premium device, and I understand, it's plastic, but it's made for you to be able to be modular. So
Yeah, yeah,
I can see
yeah.
why it's designed that way.
Hmm.
But it's just a premium looking device, and I just like writing on this thing. So
I feel you. And I forgot who said it in the Discord the other day, but they were like, it's just, they were like, it's fun to write on. I'm like, what? Seriously?
it's fun to
I
write
thought
on.
super, yeah, I guess so. Everyone feels that way. I'm like, man. So now I got to know what it's like, man. You guys have made me jealous with this AI, AI mini.
I'm probably gonna have to buy another mini because my wife had it last night. Because she has been using the Go 7 at work, and she was like, the Go 7 is too small, but this is
Oh,
perfect.
oh yeah.
It gives her more organization than the Kindle Scribe does, and like I said, the screen size is it's big enough for you to do some long format writing comfortably. And that kind of shocked me. So
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, man, hey, man, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to explain that to me. And if to anyone who wants to hear Aaron's long form take on that, he has a video out on this very topic out right now. I have a link to that video in the description. Yeah, definitely check it out. And thanks again, Aaron. 2530 Media. Go check him out.
all right, and thank you, Rod.
No problem, man. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.
All right, you too.
All right. Man, that was cool. That was cool. Since no more hands are up, we got people in the audience checking it out. But since no more hands are up, I think we're done with the commentary for the day. But again, I want to do something like this. Hey, let's switch back over. Oh boy. Bam. There we go. Again, I want to continue to do stuff like this and kind of flesh this call in thing out. Get as many people as we can with the opportunity to voice their opinion, voice their question, or just to give feedback. Kind of whatever you want to call in to say. Let's see if we can get the outro music here going. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right at some point. Bam, there we go. All right, we made it through another show. 2-hour show, not that bad. Yeah, 2-hour show, not that bad. We did pretty good today. I want to thank all the chat crew that's here today. Let's get the air horns going here for we got eInk, we got Jay in the building, we got BM. I appreciate you for joining me. Who else we got up here? Wow, I think we had Lau. We had Lau in here. Thanks for joining, Lau. We had The Rock. Thanks for we got to pick The Rock's brain on all the 3D print stuff, so we got to get that going. Parmesan, and Mr. Mike, all you guys. If I forgot anybody, if I didn't see your name appear, my bad. We'll definitely get to you. Thank you guys for joining me. Every weekday, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. till kind of whenever, I guess. I was to set an hour, but this has been longer than an hour. Oh, Mike, where are you at, Mike? Hold on. Did you come? Oh, yeah, Mike's here. My bad, Mike. Get the air horns going for Mr. Mike. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope to see you again tomorrow, where we'll be talking about more eNote or more Penstar eNote stuff. We got the update that I wanted to talk about. We're going to talk about today's tech news. We're going to talk about some. Well, I'm probably going to have a demo set up that I'll probably do a better job of than I did today. And we're also going to do the call-in section again. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me so much. And until next time, peace and take care. All right.